Welcome back. Happy Thursday, everyone. If you don't know already, I post tarot on Thursday on my Instagram account at Cosmic Fractal of Light. Please follow if you feel so inclined to do so. Okay, today I want to talk about communication and leadership. So, like 4 years ago when that thing happened and the world shut down, a lot of people were forced to go into hermit mode, and I think it made them antisocial. I think that their throat chakra hasn't been exercised enough, and now I see a lot of people too afraid to speak. That's what I've been noticing, and today especially with a lot of people around me, there's a lot of things like people are afraid to communicate, and I get it. It can be scary, but your voice absolutely matters, and you should absolutely 100% exercise your voice. If you see a little detail and maybe somebody missed that detail, so share that with them. If you have a preference of something, share that. Be your weird, unique, quirky self. Like, a lot of people will say something and then get embarrassed by somebody else's reactions. But you are so perfect. Who the fuck cares if somebody is going to say some dumb shit? You're fucking phenomenal and perfect just the way you are. So, communication is throat chakra. Throat chakra is blocked by insecurities, fear. A lot of fear resides here. Insecurity, fear, it can get blocked from substance abuse. And, let's see, and people pleasing. So people pleasing your way through life, a lot of people tend to do it. I did it for a long time. Like, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. I'm going to do what everybody else wants me to do. But you know where that led me? To crying alone in my room, because I had no space for me. I did everything everybody else wanted me to do. And then I got mad, and then I started lashing out because I had no boundaries, zero boundaries for what I needed. If I needed rest, I wasn't resting because I was too busy helping everybody else. Because my helping everybody else made me feel worthy. But that's not true. Even in my rest day, even in my mess, even in my rage, I am worthy and complete. And rage is sacred. Don't be you will, once you stop people pleasing, you will feel rage because you have denied yourself boundaries, and that was going to piss you off. Because now people are just going to try to just do what they've always done, but you're not who you used to be. So you're going to be like, no, and maybe it's going to come out a little saucy. It might. It does. Because it's unblocking. So now it's like all this debris has to come up and out. And don't judge yourself for it. Judgment's also a throat chakra blockage. It needs to happen. It needs to be, what I like to think of is like a thread. So there's a thread, and it's like a multi-layered thread, right? But one piece of the thread is popping out. So you need to go back and re-thread it into place. That's what I like to think of when I think about like pulling back, detaching, and like basically anything, any pattern that you're healing, it's got to be, so you have to go back. So it's kind of like you go into your shadow side, or you're a different timeline, because you know we're timeline jumping all the time. So you're going into it, and then you're rewriting it. You're saying, now this is who I am. Now I'm going to redefine who I am. And when you do that, when you're more in your frame, that's when you can really become a leader. And you do not have to be in a position of power to become a leader. You can lead by example, right? You have your own set of morals and values, and you live by them, and you don't let people push you around, and you say no when you want to say no. You don't have to be a dick, though. You can, like, when someone says some shit to me, I'll be like, oh, okay, that's disrespectful, and I will go ahead and I'll exit that, because I am not going to put myself in a position where I'm going to stand around and get disrespected. I have the most respect for myself, and I have the most love for myself. You can love yourself. You don't have to go out looking for love. You don't have to go out looking for validation and attention. You know, one of the guys I listen to says validation and attention is love's ugly cousin. And you can't even get love from somebody else. You have to find it within, because eventually that love's going to fade, and then you're going to be left exactly where you were in the first place. And I know that's not what you want. If you're watching me, there's probably a chance that you were meant to be a leader. Because I feel like I've heard the call to be a leader multiple times, and for a long time I didn't want to take it. I was like, nope, I'm okay over here doing my own thing. I'm not doing that. That's crazy. You want me to do what? I had no voice. And the funny thing is, a lot of the times when you were called to use your voice, when you're called to be a leader, your past will be traumatic. People will shut you, like, you'll have trials and tribulations, like, people shut me up, people didn't let me talk, I was overlooked, this, and that, but these are all things to heal, because they say, like, your hardest lessons are where your most potential lies. So think about what's been hardest for you. Like, for me, it's been like physical activity, which now is a huge part of my routine, and my voice, and being social, which is funny because that's what I'm meant to do, is to talk to people and communicate, and to empower people to stand in their own power, in their own voice, to become who they need to become. So if you're meant to be something greater, I understand it's fucking terrifying. You're afraid to be seen, you're afraid to talk, you're afraid, what if people don't care what I have to say? It doesn't matter. What you have to say is valid. You are perfect the way you are, and you came here for a mission. I've been feeling a lot of collective healing with the divine masculine, and the funny thing is that that's leadership. Like, that leadership authority, the emperor card is the masculine, and he doesn't rule out of ego, and he doesn't rule out of manipulation, and he doesn't put other people down. I'm going to tell you how I feel, and you're going to go ahead and tell me how you feel, and let's validate each other's feelings and see how we can work together in a better way. You can do that without being in a position of power. You can do that in your relationships. You could do that at your work. You can do that with your kids. You can do that anywhere. And you can't keep pouring from an empty cup. If you're not showing yourself love, if you're not filling up your own cup with things that are good for you, you have to choose to love yourself. You have to choose to respect yourself. Maybe I noticed when I drink coffee and I put cream in it, my stomach hurts really bad. So my body is wise. This is where the wisdom lies, in your body. Your body gives you signs and signals every single day. When I drink milk in my coffee, I get very nauseated. So I stopped putting cream in my coffee, and now it's fine. You just have to listen to the little signals, okay? Like, I need a rest day. Take a day off because you love yourself more than you love money. Because you're going to be okay. Because the universe has your back. You have to choose yourself. And guess what happens when you choose yourself? Like, the people around you start choosing you too. And you don't need it anymore. So you're like, okay, well, that's cool. But, I mean, whatever. And then, what's funny is that the people-pleasing thing is that, like, not everybody has your best interest at heart. And that's the sad truth. And the truth is a hard-to-swallow pill. There are people that you love that don't want the best for you and that like to see you in a lower state. I'm sorry to say it, but a lot of us seek validation because we didn't get it from our parents. You're the one that has to give yourself validation and love. Have you tried to embrace yourself? You have such an amazing love that only you can give, and you should give it to yourself. Like, when I feel my own embrace, I feel how strong and amazing my love is. And I love giving it to me because I love me so much. And the more you love yourself, the more you don't really need anything because you're just happy, right? Because we don't want to be attached to materialistic things. That's not going to provide us happiness and fulfillment. You have to follow your heart's calling, use your voice, and discover who you are and what you came here to do, what you came here to be. Maybe you're going to be doing something like me on YouTube, being a spiritual leader, leading from a place of love, understanding, community, and another thing about people pleasing is like, you're looking to get your needs met from somebody else. You have to meet your own needs. Imagine what kind of world we live in if everyone was meeting their own needs. We would be like freaking chilling. We'd be like, yeah, cool, and we can just hang out and be normal because no one's trying to get anything else from anyone or try to push their weird agendas onto you. And people do that a lot, and you can tell when they're doing it too. You're like, oh, But listen to your body. Your body will be like, ooh, we don't like that. Because you have your own set of morals. You have your own set of standards that you live by. Let people live how they're going to live. You can't control them. But you can live in your happy world. You can love yourself. You can show yourself respect. And you can lead by example. By showing love and showing truth and authenticity. And sometimes the truth isn't like... Sometimes there's something called tough love, too. Like, have you guys heard about Kali? She loves to be like, your little self thought that you wanted this, but you're all crying.
Really good. Yeah.
And Kali's like, yeah, but I'm going to rip this apart to show you who you really are. And you're like, all right, goddess, just do it. Let's get it over with. And then you're like, oh, okay, now I see things clearly. Now I can see people and their true intentions. And yeah, it might suck, but also the rose-colored goggles aren't working. Like, you can keep overgiving and overgiving and overgiving and then be burnt out and then be mad and angry at everybody in the world. Or you can just accept that you have to meet your own needs. And love is one of them. And validation is one of them. And accepting your emotions is another one of them. So, I think that's all I have for today. Have a great week.